Hey, what's up everybody? It's November 26, 2019, which means we are ready for this week's TNT Tuesday. So yeah, of course I have a list of things I'm always trying to come up with for TNT Tuesday, but sometimes I like to send this out, just an invite to everybody, just saying, hey, is there anything you'd like to see on TNT Tuesday? So I did this the other day. I threw a survey out there on the PLTW Engineering Teachers Lounge on Facebook, and Mr. Chris Derrick came forward and said, hey, how about the ice scraper? Totally makes sense considering the weather we've been having here in Chicago in November. It's been ridiculously cold. We've already had snow on the ground and ice on the windshield. So yeah, let's go out there. Let's create every Midwesterner's favorite friend in the wintertime, and that is the ice scraper. So in front of you, you're seeing various ice scrapers we can find out there online. They all basically do have the same sort of design. We have this sort of flared end on the end, goes down to a blade, and we have those sort of blocks on the end. It's sort of serrated so we can sort of bust up the ice. So that's what we're going to be sort of using today as our design. Just going to warn you right now, I really have no dimensions in front of me. I'm being inventive with inventors, so I'm just sort of creating this all on the fly. So I'm going to come out here first, and I'm going to go ahead and just give myself a reference line, and I'm going to say that this end of my blade is about 4 inches long. All right, so it's just a good reference for me. Now I can come out here, go into arc. I'm going to go ahead and just reference that 4 inches. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up, and I'm going to create the curvature of the blade on the end. I'm now going to draw a line starting here from the end, and I'm going to say that my handle in this case, we'll call it 7 inches. I'm going to go ahead and just kick out that reference. I'm going to go into offset, and I'm going to offset this down a distance of 0.2. I'm going to say the thickness of my blade is 0.2. I'm now going to come out here, and I just say from this one, you know, the actual blade does not go flat here on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this to a point. All right, like so, and now I can go ahead and just start trimming this one out. All right, so we have that. I'm gonna go ahead and close the loop on the end of my profile, okay, just like so, and now I can go ahead and finish the sketch. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a symmetrical extrusion on this one. I'm gonna take this way beyond what I really need, which is 8 inches, and I'm gonna say okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start a 2D sketch right here on this flat surface. And what I'm going to do is use some project geometry, and I'm going to start projecting this through, you know, sort of like so. And I'm going to come up here and just draw a line, and I'm just going to send this right down the center of this. So I'm going to say the handle I'm using is 2 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and just offset this an inch over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and draw a line. All right here on this edge, and I'm going to go ahead and dimension that line from this line and say that this is going to be 3 inches wide because I want my blade to be 6 inches. Now I can use arc. I can come right here to this point and take it to that point that I've just established and go ahead and create the profile of the actual blade. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and trim this out, and now I'm going to go ahead and just grab this arc and this line. I'm going to go to mirror, go to my red arrow for mirror, pick this line, hit apply, flip-flop that over, and now I can go ahead and close this up on the end, just like so. Okay, so we should have a good profile that should extrude, so I'm going to come out here to extrude. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to use intersect, and I'm just going to say all, and okay. All right, so there we go. All right, so that's sort of the overall scraper that we're looking for. Okay, it's going to work pretty well for us. Now, when you look at ice scrapers, they do have this sort of serrated teeth here on the end, or these blocks that helps you sort of bust up the ice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane, okay, right here on this edge. I'm going to go ahead and reference this top, and I'm going to keep this work plane 90 degrees. Okay, it goes right there. I'm going to start a 2D sketch right there on that face. I'm going to come out here and just draw a rectangle. Okay, like so. I'm going to say my rectangle height, or width is 0.125, so we'll establish that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use project geometry one more time, and I'm going to dimension from this endpoint. Let's see if I can get this project geometry to go for me. All right, I'm going to say I want this dimension from here to here. All right, and we're just going to say that that is 0.875. All right, so it's still within inside the blade. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. And now I'm going to go ahead and just do an extrude of this profile. I'm going to kick it in the other direction and just say extrude until you find the next surface and say okay. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up by turning off the work plane like so. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I want several of those teeth to go down go down this line. So I'm going to use rectangular pattern. I'm going to pick that extrusion. My direction 1, I'm going to come in here to this line. I'm going to be making sure it's going in this direction. If it is not, you still have the flip-flop button. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go with that. I'm going to say that I want 8 of those teeth, and now I can start coming out here and fudging those numbers, all right, as far as the distance goes between the teeth. So 0.625 didn't work, 0.5 not working for me, so let's just go ahead and bump this up. 0.575 looks pretty good. It should be somewhat symmetrical. Yeah, we're looking pretty close. Let's just go ahead and say okay. All right, so there's the teeth on the end. All right, so a couple more things we're going to do just to finish up the blade. This is the first part of the series, and then we'll create the handle the next time. Let's go out here. Let's just make sure this is rounded over. So I don't know if you've ever kind of done this, but we never actually created this rounded end on the actual sketch. But if you come in here and just pick the corners, all right, and establish what half that width is. So we know that that was 2 inches. So if I just go out there and plug in a radius of 1, it's going to round that over just perfect for us. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put a hole so we can put some sort of a strap, some sort of a string on it so we can put it around our wrist so we don't drop it. I'm going to come out here and go into hole. In this case, it's going to be a concentric hole, so I'm going to pick a face for that hole. It's a 1/4 inch hole. And in my concentric reference, I can just go ahead and just pick on this edge. It's going to drop it right in the center, and we say okay. All right, so most ice scrapers I'm seeing are just that sort of clear plastic, so I can come up here, go to polycarbonate clear. All right, and there we go. We have our blade established for our ice scraper. We'll pick up the handle next time. So there you go. That's it for this week's TNT Tuesday. Have a great week.